Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to bring to you this video finally. I've been thinking about it for a while, but it's really just to give you a vegan update. A lot of you might be new to my channel, maybe stumbled across it by chance, and some of you might have been following me for a while or know me personally. I've stumbled into veganism over the last, I would say, year or so. And I would like to share my story because maybe my story can help other people just like other people's story has helped me. So if you're interested in hearing, kind of what the last year has been like for me and what it's like for me now, stay tuned to this video because I think you will enjoy it. So I'm gonna be going over kind of how I ease my way into veganism, but at the end of this video, I will be telling you what my diet is like right now. So you might wanna stay all the way into the end, and I promise to try to keep this video short. So anyways, getting into the video, I have been vegetarian for quite some time, maybe like 23, 24, maybe, I don't know, 23 or 24 is when I started transitioning into the vegetarian lifestyle. I'll make a separate video if you guys want to know how and why I started onto this lifestyle. But nevertheless, I was vegetarian for a while, and then I kind of fell off and started eating white meat and fish. And then up until last year sometime, I decided to go back vegetarian and was vegetarian for a while. And then I decided one day, after countless documentaries and reading articles and things like that, I decided to make the plunge into becoming a vegan, or having a plant-based lifestyle, I should say, because let's just call it for what it was, a plant-based lifestyle. So I don't really recall when I started, but I started sometime last year with the plant-based diet. My main motivation was to become a healthier, happier person, and I can say that it has been a journey, as I'm sure it has been a journey for you guys. But obviously I started off with just eliminating all the dairy, the eggs, the honey from my diet, any byproducts of animals that we consume. I got rid of those as much as possible. I began reading the labels and things like that. When I started, it was primarily because of my diet, although the mistreatment of animals and environmental issues were a factor in my mind. I just hadn't made that connection and did not change everything around my lifestyle that attributed to those things. So I started off with my diet and gradually started easing my way into a vegan lifestyle. Whether I did it the right way or not, it is what it is, but this is just my story and this is how I started. I began reading labels and realized that there were so many things, surface level, it was easy to kind of get rid of some stuff, but because you read the labels and you realize that it doesn't say meat or eggs or milk or whatever. But I realized that a little bit later that a lot more research needed to go into that for me to really make a sound decision on whether something was vegan or not. But I didn't learn that until way late. So I started reading the labels just to make sure it was said vegan or vegetarian, basically, and that's how it helped me. I also started heavily eating a lot of tofu, a lot of processed foods, things that were gonna help me transition more easily. So tofu was a staple. Veggie burgers are my friend. I love veggie burgers, still love veggie burgers, and things like that. So those transitional foods for me were like staples in my diet. Then I started to switch over some household products. I support a lot of local and minority-owned businesses, so when I decided to make the switch into having more vegan-friendly products, I decided to look local first. So that had deodorant, shampoo, and all that stuff. Detergent was a big one, and toothpaste. So I didn't do all of that at one time. It wasn't even that long ago. One day I was sitting there thinking about I had to take a shower and realized that I was using Dove, and I was just like, I'm pretty sure Dove isn't vegan, and why haven't I made the decision to look into those products? And it wasn't even intentional, it was just like habit. I didn't even think about making the switch on the products that I was using, lotions and things like that. So I decided to research different lotions and deodorants and soaps and things like that, and I made the switch, and I decided to buy a couple of local products and minority-owned products that I love so far. If you guys are interested in knowing what kind of products that I use, let me know. I can make a separate video for that. I'm still transitioning, so I haven't found I found products that I love, but I'm still open. If you know any local or minority-owned businesses, or smaller businesses, I should say, or whose products that you like to use, then put those down below, because I'd be happy to try those out as well, because my deodorant is getting kind of low. Also, if you're a small business, right, and you like me to sample some of your products, definitely inbox me, because I will definitely try those out. So far, I started to switch those things over, and so far so good. I do not miss any store-bought or commercial products at all. Literally do not miss them at all. I've also dabbled into making my own different lotions and toothpaste and deodorant and stuff like that. I'd rather just buy it, but I can see how easy it would be to make myself, which maybe one day I'll do that. Then I started to kind of play around with the different vegan makeup. So I realized that one of the makeup brands that I was using was a vegan brand, or they had vegan options, so I was pretty stoked about that. I still am not to the place where I'm like boycotting brands if the entire company isn't vegan, because I know some people out there do that, and maybe in my future I'll definitely do that, because I don't want to support people who are endangering the environment and our animals and things like that. So moving into my diet update, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I started off with using a lot of processed foods as a transition, which I think are great for people who are just trying to kill dairy and get off of animal products. So kudos to, you know, the veggie burgers and the chicken patties of the world. However, I realized that it was still kind of unhealthy, and I was making a better impact to the environment. I definitely wasn't doing anything better for my body. Tried to kill that pretty quickly. Then I went into like this phase of juicing and eating a lot of raw foods and stuff like that, which I still do. So I just want to say that I love juicing. I love having a fresh juice when I feel like making it, and I love experimenting with raw food. So I was really feeling the high raw food diet. I love doing that. I feel really good when I eat a high raw diet. However, you know, what I started to notice, one, is that the juicing habit, I think to an extent it can be really healthy to juice, right? Because you want to detox your body, you want to get rid of all the toxins, you want to reset, reboot, recharge, you know, and I think that it's still a good thing to do every once in a while. But I realized when you start juicing because you want to shed a couple of pounds, or because you ate really shitty the weekend before and you want to juice, that's when it becomes a little dangerous. And I think you kind of mistreat your body a little bit. Your body's like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And for a second, I feel like kind of like my body was punishing me. You know, it started to like retain extra water. It started to gain some weight back, and I just didn't want to do the fluctuation thing. And that is just, I just want to say that this was totally my journey. I could have been doing something wrong. Don't even want to say that I wasn't, and I'm still learning right now. So I just want to say that I love juicing and I love a high raw diet. I just think that after juicing and after doing high raw and then trying to eat regular food in between, my body was like sucking in and keeping all this extra food onto me. And there was a second where I got to optimal weight and I was feeling really good and feeling really slim and sexy and all this other stuff. But as soon as I started to eat like more cooked foods again and started to eat like a normal person, right? Like go out to eat with your friends and do, you know, have a few drinks and whatever, my body started to like suck it in. So 28, new year, new me started to be like for real a new you, because I started not to look the same. And so that brings me to what my diet is right now. I really do like the high raw food diet, and I may even go back to that. But what I found is that I was eating a lot of fruit, which I think is still very good for people, and I don't think there are a lot of people who survive in eating a high fruit diet. But for me, I found that I probably wasn't eating enough. So after juicing, right, I felt really good. I could juice for 10 days straight and feel and have tons of energy. But having a high raw diet or having an all raw food diet, I was finding that I was having to eat a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, and I actually really do like it, but a lot of the foods to get more calories come from like fats and stuff like that. And for me and my weight loss goal, wanting to shred and build muscle and stuff like that, it just wasn't conducive for me. And I started to feel a little bit more heavy. So with that being said, I decided to start cooking more food now and having a lot of trying out the high carb, low fat diet with cooked food. A high carb, low fat diet is just what it is. You have a lot of carbs as maybe 45 to 60%, probably more about 60% of your food consumption in a day, and then you can do the whatever calculations you want to do for protein and fat. And I chose to do about 20%, 25% of protein, and then the rest of it being fat, because I want the fat to be the lowest amount in my body. Truthfully, and what I've learned is that an excess of any of these things can be stored as fat. Moral of the story is you got to do what's right for your body, and right now what I'm doing is just trying to find out what's right for me. So right now what I'm doing is a high carb, low fat diet. I've been cooking a lot of potatoes. There have been meals that I had nothing but potatoes and maybe some guac on the side or whatever dipping sauce that I make. A lot of quinoa and amaranth grains, a lot of vegetables, and I've cut back on the fruit a little bit because there were days where I was eating smoothies and banana ice cream all day long, which I love, by the way, but I just found out that I want to be able to eat a nice hearty meal and then not think about food for a few hours. One thing I didn't mention as well is that having a high raw diet, if you don't eat enough, then you will start feeling more lethargic and decrease in more fogginess. And I was starting to feel that. Nothing against the raw food diet, but it was merely me probably just not eating enough. I recognize that, but during the day you get so busy while you're at work and doing whatever you have to do that you really have to be at a mental space where you can slow down and focus on eating and make sure you eat enough for whatever it is that you're doing. And so I realized that I needed to either focus on that, or I needed to do something else, so that way I can feel alive and have clearer mind and things like that. So this is what is working for me right now. So far I love it, and I've lost 4 pounds in the last week. The healthy way, not extra dieting, not extra gym, just regular what I was doing, going to the gym 5 times a week, and eating my high carb, low fat diet. I've also been starting to track my macros in my Fitness Pal. I know there are some other ones out there that you have to pay for, but I ain't about that life. So I've been using that, and it's helped me make better decisions. So I'm happy to say that after a year that I have a plant-based diet, and that I am slowly but surely working the other aspects of my life to become more vegan by using better products and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please let me know in the comment section below. And then also, while you're here, do not forget to hit that red button to subscribe. If you hit the little bell notification, then you'll be notified every time I upload a video, which is usually about every week or so. And you guys, I really do appreciate you watching this video. My humble channel is growing, and I'm really excited for it. So I will be back in the next video, and until next time.